Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 6 signs that you should pay attention to your mental health. So the reason I wanted to do this video first and foremost is because I think sometimes we don't realize, especially when it comes to mental health, especially because our subconscious mind gets programmed over time with things, and a lot of things are sort of like residual. So sometimes we don't realize how so much of the external world over time can actually impact our mental, emotional well-being. And it's really important that we have resources to be able to gauge, hey, have I been off lately? Have I been feeling less fulfilled lately? Have I been feeling less happy, less like myself lately, more lost, more confused, more frustrated or irritable, burnt out, and these are some signs that we're going to cover for you to be able to gauge, like, oh yeah, there are things in my life that are pulling me backwards. The faster we consciously identify these patterns, then we can break through these things. Then we can hone in on the different patterns that we're experiencing, where maybe our mental, emotional well-being is backsliding, and we can actually show up in the relationship to ourselves and give ourselves compassion, love, support, etc. We can also ask for outward compassion, love, support, or resources. We can seek counseling, all sorts of things. So very first thing is if we find ourselves in a space of self-isolation. Usually when people are in a space of isolating a lot more, it's because they're not coping well and they feel like they haven't found their center yet. Usually when we have like a secure inner stability in our daily lives, that provides the foundation we want to jump off from, right? It's like if I'm feeling good and energized and recharged, I want to go explore. I want to go talk to people. I want to meet people. I want to do different things. I want to try new things. When our inner foundation is feeling rocked, or sort of fragmented, that's when we're like, whoa, I have to stay here and kind of stay comfortable and secure. And something doesn't feel quite right. So we can often withdraw into ourselves. Now, obviously, people cope in different ways. Self-isolation isn't the only thing to pay attention to. Some people, really rely on others and are afraid to be alone at all. But this tends to be a really important sign that something within your subconscious mind is trying to get your attention. Something doesn't feel quite right. And by the way, if you want to check out for free our overcoming depression and sadness course. We have a really powerful resource course that you can check out for free for 7 days. It's called Overcoming Depression and Sadness, and it will really take you through the main core causes of depression at a subconscious level and steps and strategies and tools to reprogram them. And of course, if you are feeling depressed, please as well seek out one-to-one counseling. It's always helpful to have that supportive resource in your life. Number 2, more emotional volatility. This is another good sign that, hey, we're not feeling like ourselves. We're not feeling 100%. And this could look like being angry suddenly more often. This could look like a lot of irritability, frustration. This could look like periods of being really happy, periods of being, a lot more sad and down, and sort of this big pendulum swinging. Sometimes as well, this will look like you're running on adrenaline. And when you're not running on adrenaline, you just don't feel good. So that pendulum swinging. So a lot more of that emotional volatility, disruption, feeling like it's difficult to emotionally regulate is a really important sign to be aware of. Number 3 is if you find that your coping mechanisms are coming in hot. And what that means is if you find yourself in a place where you used to watch TV for an hour here and there during the week, and now you come home from work and you kind of binge watch TV for 5 hours, or you used to, enjoy like eating out and having a nice meal from time to time, but suddenly you're ordering takeout in every single evening and you're kind of binge eating food and eating lots of treats and ice cream or whatever it might be, and finding yourself relying on like seeking comfort in a way, like almost coping through these things that you're doing. Obviously, other examples are like drinking, gambling, spending excessive time on social media, these sorts of things where what we may have done for pleasure or entertainment suddenly became like a coping, a distraction, something in excess, which really means like your subconscious mind is always trying to equilibrate. So when we are in subtle pain, we start seeking subtle pleasure. When we're in a lot of pain, we start seeking a lot more pleasure. And it's really our subconscious mind trying to create homeostasis and equilibrium. Number 4 is if you're feeling anxious and afraid more often. If you find like you're always feeling kind of in fight or flight, you're always upregulated, perhaps you're in sympathetic nervous system mode a lot of the time, and you find yourself sort of struggling to stay grounded, rooted, present, comfortable, on a regular basis. And that's, again, whenever we feel pain, our emotions are feedback mechanisms. They're letting us know when something's out of alignment within ourselves. And they're asking us to go inwards and be like, hey, what's going on? And usually what's really happening at a deep level is either we've got some painful programming, we've got some painful internal dialogue, we're thinking negative and self-defeating thoughts about ourselves, have negative core beliefs about ourselves, like I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, I'm going to be alone forever, I'm going to be abandoned, these sorts of things. Or we have unmet needs in our lives and we're not consciously aware of what those are. And so we feel disempowered to actually get them met. And so we find ourselves kind of like floundering in all these, ways to try to get our needs met, which just often puts us in a state of coping instead of having like healthy, intentional strategies. Like if you're binge watching television, maybe you're seeking comfort, maybe you're seeking, emotional connection, and you feel connected to the characters on the TV. But instead of getting those needs met through the television, it's a lot healthier to get those needs met by like, maybe I'll take more pressure off myself and have better boundaries. Maybe I will meditate or practice mindfulness. Like those are great things that will bring you more comfort. With emotional connection, maybe I'll be more vulnerable with friends and family, open up a little bit more, spend more time with them, doing quality time things where we're present with each other. Like those are healthier ways to get needs met rather than binge watching television, right? So you see these different dynamics. Anyways, by the way, if you want to like do a deep dive into it, that overcoming depression course, as well as it's overcoming depression and sadness. So if you're feeling sad or down, as well as the emotional mastery and belief reprogramming course, you can try either of those out for free using the link in the description box below. It will give you like tools, ways of navigating all of this, setting everything up for yourself. And it's like super clear and helpful. Number 5, losing your healthy routines. So if you find that you used to have healthy routines, maybe you would exercise quite a bit, and maybe you would read good books, find yourself learning, growing, doing like a morning routine, meditation, prayer, like whatever it might be that was like really filling you up. If you find yourself like those are things that are just kind of falling off, like falling by the wayside, that's a really important sign. Hey, pay attention to your mental, emotional well-being. Things are feeling out of balance. And the faster we can, again, acknowledge it, correct it, put some strategies in place, the faster we can move the needle back to wellness again. And number 6, feeling like there's a lack of purpose in our lives, or a sense of emptiness, confusion, or feeling lost. And usually what that actually is an unmet need for our basic human need of significance. And we can get significance in more superficial ways, like approval, power, control, like these sort of like unhealthy things at times, especially when they're in excess. Like it's one thing to want to have a little control over your own life by making a plan. Like that's a healthy form of control, but not when we're too attached to it and terrified of things not going our way, right? Then we get into unhealthy territory. Or if we want to have control over like our thoughts, and try to be mindful of like how that creates our emotional output. That would be a healthier form of control. Controlling other people, unhealthy, right? So you see how it can sort of be in different forms, but really healthy significance is meaning, purpose, having a mission and vision for our lives, having, feeling like we know ourselves, we know what we want, what fulfills us, and we take daily action steps towards those things. And we have habits and routines and relationships in our lives that moves us further or closer towards those things that we want. And so, when we feel a sense of emptiness, it's usually that we're not paying attention to that stuff there. And again, in both of those courses I mentioned, there will be like a really great deep dive into tools, resources for you to take a look at some of those things, to understand those things and feel a sense of like purpose, clarity, passion again in your life by understanding our needs, our belief patterns, and formulating a plan accordingly to support ourselves, to nourish ourselves going forward. So hopefully this makes a lot of sense. Check out those further resources if it's something that you need at this time. We're really excited to be able to support that. And please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thank you for being here, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.